Andromeda, 5,
4,
4,
3,
3,
2, 1, 0.
0. Okay. Here we go. This is Andromeda. It looks like BackHo is going to be in white, and he's going to be in the top left. This is JulyZerg in, I believe that's orange or yellow, in the bottom left-hand corner. And this map, I'm looking forward to this map. It usually ends up being kind of a macro game because there's 3 easy bases to get. We'll see. That does mean it's going to be easy for the Protoss to get extra bases very quickly. And sometimes we even see Protoss players will just block their ramp and not try to get that second base with the gas on it. And they'll just block their ramp because that makes it extremely easy to get a second base, and they don't have to invest a lot in cannons even or anything like that. And BackHo's setting out a very early probe. I wonder if he might even be setting up fast expand. Yeah, so he's actually going to set up a fast expand at the natural with his gas. And that's kind of what I was thinking before. I was talking about Huangdo, but also against the Rock. The Rock took his expansion with only the minerals, and then he did not have enough gas to deal with JulyZerg, because JulyZerg did have 2 gas. So we could that could be why BackHo decided to get that, and that's interesting to see him there. Anyway, so, and July is actually gone for a 9 pool. He's getting his gas as well, so he is going to be, actually it looks like just an overpool. So he's going to be going, probably getting 6 Zerglings out very quickly, and then after that I imagine he'll use those to harass and then go to get a hatchery and get some more econ. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, this plays right into BackHo's hands. Unfortunately for July, the positionings were such, and BackHo's early scout was such that he happened straight. He scouted counterclockwise, arrived straight at July's base, and if say July had been cross map, or if July had even been at the 1 o'clock position, BackHo would have had to make a decision on either putting his Forge or Nexus down without having the benefit of the scout. Now, I presume in those circumstances he would probably have put the Forge down first, but either way, he's going to be in a pretty good position to deal with these Zerglings. He's going to have his defenses up in place, and considering the build he's gone for, that puts him in prime position as the game progresses. And this is a map where you can expect a longer game. Even if the Zerg player gets gets the upper hand, it's really hard to actually kill the Protoss player off on this map, especially when they've taken that expansion to begin with. July, meanwhile, looks like he's trying to take his mid-only expo, and he's now managed to put that hatchery down. BackHo managed to delay it just a touch with his probe harassing July's drone, but July's managed to get that hatchery down. So again, we've seen this before. We saw this from, I believe it was Jaedong versus Bisu, where Jaedong took the min-only hatchery first before going for the gas hatchery, and as a result, what happened was that Bisu was able to block him putting down the hatchery at the gas at the natural expo by putting a pylon down and by delaying him, and presumably BackHo could do the same. He could delay that hatchery significantly, though July does have Zerglings out now, so it's going to be difficult for him to do that because July's got these Zerglings out, so he won't really be able to slow him down unless he decides to plant a pylon and spend the resources on that. And BackHo doing an excellent job of slowing July down from putting that hatchery down, and finally he's able to ward the probe away and get that hatchery down. So, but July unfortunately not able to do any harass. BackHo's got his defense up and running at his own base. So it looks like we are set up for a long macro game, and definitely in this game BackHo I think will have a slightly better chance. Last time July went for a 12 hatchery build, this time he went for 9 pool, and so BackHo he's not going to have as strong an economy and is not going to be as far ahead as he was in the last game, even though BackHo had expanded. So BackHo's gone for virtually an identical build, obviously barring that he put the Forge down first, and I think we'd look up for an interesting game. This is likely to be more even a contest.
Yeah, I do think this is kind of in BackHo's advantage now, because, and I think just a random note I was thinking about, I think that July may have even canceled that extractor because BackHo scouted him. He may have figured that, oh, well, now he's going to be prepared for Zerglings, so a Speedling rush won't work. And July is not going to let BackHo get his probe into his main base to see what he's teching up to now. And that might play into things later on. BackHo's going to be a little bit more in the dark because he was not able to see if July put down a Hydro Stent or anything like that in his main base. But what this means is that BackHo has his second gas secured, so he's going to have plenty of gas in the early mid-game. And it also means that he's got his front door secured, so he's going to be able to take a third base very easily. So I think this is going to be advantageous for BackHo because he's going to have 3 bases, and July is going to have to extend himself a little if he's going to get 4 bases in order to try and stay ahead economically or even economically. And that's going to be more difficult for July to do. He's going to have to start taking over positions in different parts of the map, probably at something like the 6 o'clock position, or he may try and hide a base in one of the other spawn points or something like that. But it will be more difficult for him to protect that. That's nice. It will be more difficult for him to protect those bases, especially if BackHo gets something like Ser Reaver, which is very, very mobile.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what strategy BackHo opts for and how July responds. July putting a 4th hatchery down now at his mid on the Expo. He's teched a lair, so presume we can see a Spire going down any second now. BackHo sending another probe down to try and get the scout, and it'll be interesting to see if July has got that blocked off. July does have a couple of Zerglings in waiting, and he's now started up his Spire, so doing his best to he's got to do his best to deny BackHo the scout here, obviously just to keep him guessing. That ramp is blocked off by 2 Zerglings. BackHo trying to maneuver his way up the ramp, unable to do so. July microing well enough. Occasionally, even at pro level, you might see those Zerglings get lured out by the probe and the probe sneaking past, but July obviously awaken up to the task, considering that he doesn't have much else distracting him. But BackHo does have his Stargate up. He's also got his Dragoon out, killing off July's Overlord, which July's trying to maneuver and keep alive for as long as possible. But the Stargate is up. The first Corsair should be popping out for BackHo any second now, and once he has that up, he will be able to scout. It'll be interesting to see whether BackHo decides to put a second Stargate down. We saw how effectively that worked for Bisu once he established air superiority and was able to go into that Reaver Ser combo. And I wouldn't be surprised if BackHo is essentially trying to mimic Bisu's build that we saw on Andromeda, with similar starting positions that Bisu had compared to Jaedong. I do feel that probably July will be in a slightly better position to cope with it, because July hasn't committed himself to a crazy hard list build the way Jaedong has. And it'll also be interesting to see whether or not July surrenders air superiority as easily to BackHo as Jaedong did to Bisu, allowing Bisu to just mass those Corsairs. Obviously, if BackHo puts up two Stargates, it'll become that much more difficult for July to do anything about it. But July does love his Mutalisks, and as vulnerable as they are against Corsairs, I think with the combination of Scourges, he has produced a couple of Hydralisks out. July losing 1 Overlord, though not able to keep it alive in time, so BackHo doing a little bit of harass, and now moving that Corsair away. So it really comes down to what choice of strategy BackHo goes for. I think Reaver Ser is a very likely possibility, although I do see 2 buildings morphing. I do see 2 more gateways, so maybe he's not going for Reaver Ser, and I still don't see a robotics facility. So it looks like BackHo is not going for Reaver Ser, but he is producing. He's got another 2 Sers out. So maybe we see Dark Templar backed by Ser. I don't know.
Yeah, this is a crucial moment in game right now because, July